Happy Wednesday. Happy day of Mercury to all of you guys. Welcome to Beyond the Veil. Mi ama Adina. Itu. My name is Adina. I am your hostess with the mostest here at Beyond the Veil and your resident medium, psychic, oracle, crazy lady, whatever you guys like to call us. Hi, Tierra. I need to get your footage edited so I can send it to you of your ceremony. But for those of you guys who are new here, that's what I do. And I like to state that up front just in case that's not your thing. You can see your way to the left, to the left. And for my, hold on. Cheers. For my regular subscribers and my Busted Babies regular viewers, happy Wednesday. Happy day of Mercury to you guys. Hey, Rosetta. Hey, one of one. Hey, Mama Fakit. Yes, I'm saying it right now. Mama Fakit. You guys, I've been calling Tierra Mama Fakette, and her name is Mama Fakit. Yes, it's got a little wee to it. Is that French? Is Fakit French? Anyways, let me know how you guys are doing. Hey, Minaj. How you doing this Wednesday? No, seriously though. Is it French? Hungarian. Interesting. That's neat. It means black. I'm sorry, but considering that the person who the name belongs to or originates from is the opposite, that just tickled me pink. Or Fakit. Is that why he married Cha? Anyway, Cha. And had a whole Fakit family. Literally. Fakit AF. I am going to wear that word out now that I speak Hungarian. Thank you. I officially am partially Hungarian. Exactly. Exactly. It's my cousin from the Fakit side. That's how I'm Hungarian. Hello to everyone who's just joining me. Welcome to Beyond the Veil. I am so excited, first and foremost, to fulfill this subscriber request because it came from someone who is close to Stockton, literally lives close to Stockton. And I believe when she requested it, she said she may know some people who were affected personally. So I'm excited to do that. I'm excited about tomorrow's Big Boss, Big Money ceremony that we're doing on the lunar eclipse on the full moon in Jupiter on the day of money, the biggest expansive planet we have. The moon will be the closest to the earth that it has been all year. So, whatever we are trying to manifest, which is big income changes, permanent big money, we can just reach out and grab it. So, speaking of which, I wasn't necessarily out shopping for the ceremony. I was going to get me some hot wings. And right next to the hot wing place is my favorite little smoke shop that I like to go and get my grab a leaf. And it happens to be owned by an Indian family. And as I was checking out my grab a leaf, I turned my head to the left and I saw a stand full of incenses. And so it was so many of them. I thought, well, let me just go peek because usually smoke shops only have like the blunt incense. And I don't buy that kind of stuff. If I buy incense, it's for ceremonial purposes only. And you guys, I hit the mother load. Turns out that the lady hand makes them herself. And she was curious about the incenses in particular that I was getting. And so she says, um, you're interested in incenses? I said, yes, I use them in my ceremonies and rituals. And she said, oh, you're the first person in this town that I've met that does that. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, I make them for that. So I only got 40 and I just split them up in different kinds. But when I need to re-up, I think I got like 4 of each and then a few couple of some other ones. So I got some handmade, hand rolled frankincense, sage, and santo. That's Palo Santo. It gets better. Queen of the Nile, bitch. I don't need Queen of the Nile. I'm gonna have to use that in a Venus ceremony or something. Love Shack, another Venus ceremony one. Sensuality, another Venus ceremony one. Because February is coming up, and somebody mentioned to me that now that they money good, you know, they health good, everything's good. Now they're ready to work on a husband. So we got some Venus ceremonies coming up. I don't even remember which one this is. Patchouli. I'm gonna use this tomorrow. Patchouli attracts wealth, in case you didn't know. So I'm gonna use this tomorrow. Good old dragon's blood. You ready to one of one? Isis, bitch. Isis. I was like, yes, come through, smoke shop owner lady. Yes. Isis. Yeah, you can still join. Voodoo. Now y'all know I had to. Y'all know I had to get that one because I got voodoo vagina. No, seriously. So I'm so excited to try all of these out. Yes, Richard. Welcome to Halea, Stockton. First of all, when I think about Stockton, I think about how in VF Californians, residents of Stockton County of California of United States of America, Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, 90210. How did you guys allow Jason McLee? Hmm? Hmm? How did you allow Jason McLee, East Oakland in the, let me bank head real quick. Let me put on my serious bank head. And I'm finna crip walk. Hold, this is me crip walking and my, anyway, somebody's gonna teach me how to crip walk one of these days, for real, for real. When I do it, I feel like I really look like I'm doing it for real. Maybe not to y'all, but to me, I feel like I have to be so serious. Anyways, anyways, shout out to East Oakland. But how in the Beverly Hills of the 90210 did you guys allow Jason McLee to get into the mayoral house. And then the first thing he does is do a ritual and a sacrifice, a blood sacrifice, and now the babies are gone. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That wasn't for real unless it shows up. But I think that's where you guys went wrong in the first gosh darn place. No offense to Jason Mickley, because I don't know that man personally, but what I do know of him, I would put him in no seat that has the authority to sign off on anything or have access to a budget. It's because I'm black, Uncle Max. It's because I'm black. I have the face of a black woman. Hey, Liv. Okay, so I was asked to look into that party, the shooting in Stockton that took the lives of a few people. And the person who asked me to read on it said that allegedly it's gang related, but they're not saying that publicly. That seems to be something that people would be more than happy to say in order to, assign a bad guy to the situation and then be able to subscribe it to whether we solve it or not. It's that thug stuff, and that's how it is. So if it is true that that's something that it is, but for some reason the authorities are not claiming that it is that, well, curiosity kills the cat. But I will say that I'm not too familiar with the story, so I'm going to pull up an article, get a little familiarized, and then we're going to see what's to see. Shout out to the subscriber who wanted me to talk about this. They are a loyal busted baby, but they never, ever, ever get caught in the chat. They lurk. They're here now, lurking in the bushes. Loyal, faithful, quiet, stealthy, invisible. Shout out to the invisible busted babies. I know it's quite a few of you guys. Some of you guys I don't even know, but I feel you. It is gang related. It's the Southerners and the Northerners, Mexicans fighting Uncle Max. Leon, did you emerge from the bushes of busted babies? Hello. Well, that's interesting. Let's see. Stock, not stock market, because that's usually what I put the stock in. You're not lurking now, my darling. Stockton shooting birthday party. Okay. Okay. BBC.com from a day ago. I will read that to familiarize myself and then we'll take a look. Patrice Williams thought she was hearing the pops of balloons she had inflated earlier as she gathered with friends and family for cake to celebrate her daughter turning 2. But the loud bursts ringing through the banquet hall were actually the sounds of gunshots that ultimately killed 4 guests, the 4 people I have in my thumbnail, at the birthday party she had thrown. Quote, I don't know what happened, and I'm just so shocked and lost, Miss Williams told the Associated Press. The mass shooting in Stockton, California over the weekend killed 3 children. Wow. Aged 8, 9, and 14. God bless the babies. And a 21-year-old, authorities said. 11 others were injured, one critically in the shooting where about 100 guests were celebrating. Miss Williams' other daughter, a cousin, and 3 of her friends were among those shot. Her other baby, too, while partygoers gathered around a cake, she told the AP, Associated Press, that is. Others were about to sit down for dinner in the banquet hall when the attacker or attackers entered with an automatic weapon. Wow. This brings to mind something that happened in Miami a long time ago, either when I was in college or right before I got to college. Um, some Haitians came and shot up a birthday party. I think the target was the mama of the kids, and allegedly she might have been involved in some setup stuff or helping somebody get robbed. And the Haitians came and I believe they not only shot up the party, but they had their machete, and it was nasty. That's what that made me think about. Um, The shooting appeared to begin inside the event space before moving onto the street, and it's unclear if anyone returned fires. So these were innocent, people thinking they was going to a kids' party, and they seem to have gunned these people down, not only on the inside, but even on the outside. So I don't know if they was coming for anybody specific, but it sounds like they was coming to do everybody in and not let nobody get away. Ms. Williams says she didn't see the attacker and has no idea who would commit such violence. They deserve to be in jail. They deserve to go to hell. She told the Associated Press, I'm sorry, but I just, it's not respectable. It's a kid's party. Later that night, okay, police car, such and such. Okay, now they're talking about other violence in Stockton or east of San Francisco. Wait, the broader San Joaquin Valley. Okay, so they're talking about more violence. That is absolutely heartbreaking, first of all. So let us acknowledge the victims. I feel the need to do that because many of them were babies, and even the 21-year-old was a baby. Um, and this lady's other daughter, not only did she lose a child, but her other daughter was shot as well, survived but shot. And um, now in the first mind, I'm thinking they had they said I think over 100 guests. Ain't no telling who was there. That was the actual target. I imagine it wasn't the babies who actually got killed, and I'm sure it wasn't the mama because they would have got her. I'm sure she was somewhere visible if they were getting ready to cut the cake. Sounds like maybe they just came in there shooting. In my mind, they had to have known somebody was there that they had beef with. And in my other mind, I thought that sounds like sending a message where we run up in a kid's party and we don't care who get hit. That is sending a message. It's saying we will run up in a kid's party and shoot up. So either that's a message to someone or that's just a message of saying we here and fear us. Let's see though. Let us see. Some of the chat is saying that it is gang related. I can see that. So let's see. Not to judge Cali, but y'all know for gangs, you know, growing up in the 90s on TV, they would make you think that New York and California was actually, they kind of were the unsafest places to be back then. But gang, 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 gang. New York, gang, gang, gang. California, crip, crip, crip. Just so, anyways, let us see. I'm thinking of a way. Oh, it's just so many, so many, so many victims at once. And it was just so unexpected that there's still just so much emotion from the victims. Because I can't even, like, the burping is overwhelming. It feels like I'm drowning a little bit. Anyways, because I can't get, it's just like one. Anyways, it's just such a traumatic situation for everybody involved. So much trauma. It's going to be so much trauma moving forward, not just for the people that were there. Yeah, but for the community. And I believe more violence to follow. A lot of it, actually. It almost feels like this is the beginning of a wave of violence because somebody's going to have to retaliate. Somebody's going to have to get their lick back for this. Most High Mother and Father God, thank you first and foremost for this Wednesday, this day of Mercury. Wednesdays are special to me because my Mercury and my chart is in Scorpio, which allows me to talk to the dead, right next to Pluto. Anyways, thank you for this day of Mercury. Thank you for the living, but also thank you for the dead because they're still ever so present, still very much so present. And it's such a shame that the world has to go on believing that there's finality, even with someone leaving their body here, because there's so many lonely dead, because their loved ones and the ones they left behind don't believe that they still exist. So thank you for the living and thank you for the dead. Those who have loved ones that still love on them, and those who are wandering, looking for somebody to remember them or feel them, not assign them to death so that they put them in a space in their mind and in their heart that is not real. It's a memory. Thank you for those who have become just a memory, but are still very much so present. Thank you for YouTube for being such a successful platform that allows me to sit here today and do this. And thank you for the people who join me each moment. Each person that joins is a part of a very special moment, whether they believe or not. A moment where we part the veil and not just remember those, but fellowship with those no longer amongst the living. Spirit, I can't call up one victim. They're too young, and I don't want to talk to the 21-year-old, and I feel like it was a young man. The article didn't say that, but I feel some anger, and that's not from the babies. It's from the 21-year-old. Was he a young man? Let me go back to the picture. Yes. What's his name? Susano Archuleta. I'm gonna just have to read the situation. I don't want to read him. No, 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 no. I have to read him. He might know. He might know something. Susano Archuleta. Susano Archuleta. Susano Archuleta. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Susano Archuleta. I have to cool him down. Susano, Susano, Susano. Seems like it was a really nice day out there that day. I hear a lot of kid voices. It feels like obviously it was crowded. They said over 100 people there. What's sad is that it feels like it was a really nice day. Wonder if there's an intersection close to where this happened. I see like a corner, an intersection. I see a car taking off and turning left at an intersection, speeding off and taking left. I feel like it's a light colored car, tinted windows. I see at least 4 people in there. I see one person reloading a gun because they think somebody might be coming um, behind them. So he's reloading his gun because he's the one who got out and just shot up the party. But they don't know if somebody's going to be behind them. So he reloading. They had a lot of ammo with them in the car, enough to reload maybe a couple times. Anyways, oh, I see y'all deleting a lot of trolls. I don't know what's been going on in here, but my goodness. Susano Archuleta, talk to me about the shooting that took your life in Stockton at that birthday party. What happened? Why? And what's going to come as a result of you and those babies' lives being taken in this way? Susano Archuleta, I'm asking you because you're the oldest, and I don't want, no, he doesn't want me to disturb the babies. He says, I want to speak. Don't disturb the children. Let them sleep. Okay, what happened and why? Who, what, when, where, and why? Okay, so this is the single shooter that they said came and shot up the party. They did say it was one person. Um, and I don't remember them saying anything about more other than the person saying they deserve to be in jail. But I think it was one person who got out and did the most damage, I will say. And they came to do just that. So they left feeling like job well done by injuring all these people. I feel like if it obviously if he could have got more, they would have, but he was happy that when he left, he saw bodies. See him wearing red. I don't know if this was initiation or something that he had to do to gain some kind of stripes or clout. If this was his first, something that he had to do to like prove himself to his gang, maybe. I don't know if he was a lieutenant or a general and somebody that's already respected. Nevertheless, feels pretty good about it, even at this moment. And here's the fact that it was a party. People were out there celebrating. It was a good time. That's in the challenging position because innocent people, or I feel like maybe innocent people, were the target. So that's the problem, that they chose to do this at a party. Ace of Swords. Somebody could have made a threat or been warned already. This could also have something to do about a case that somebody is involved in. But I feel like a threat or a warning was made, or somebody was there that may have known that they had a lingering threat. Somebody there, I think, shouldn't have been at that party. Um, and maybe went there believing that that would give them some kind of safety or a moment to regroup. Meaning they know that there's a threat lingering. I'm not ready yet to strike first. I'm going to go to this party, regroup, get together with some people. I know we're going to be safe here. And then maybe later on that night, we'll handle business. I don't know. But they shouldn't have been at this party because I think that they may have known that there was a lingering threat, and not just knowing that somebody threatened you, but I think they should have known not to even come to a party. I think it's going to be difficult to solve this case due to evidence, something that has to do with evidence. And I also think that some evidence might be lost, buried, shuffled around in a way that makes it difficult to move this case along. It could be because it was probably so many bullets, shell casings, so many people all over the place. Now, here's the mother on the news and the media. The only thing that I want to say is that I would like to see her as the empress and not just a woman in the media. Because maybe, just maybe, she has some information that she's not sharing. Maybe even if it's just a suspicion or a theory, might be safer that way. We'll see. Safer that way. Sounds even more gang related because usually, mamas, like I said before, I had a friend whose kids were in a gang. They called themselves Bloods. And I say called themselves because they just kids, but they really be out here anyways. And they told me that sometimes, at least as it pertains to the community that we live in, there was this string of murders that took place within a year. It was like 10 within a year. And I live in a small town, and they told me one day and my friend that the reason that those are unsolved is because they gang related, and the family, like the mamas, they don't necessarily really go forward with everything that they know from the streets because they know their kids got hit by a gang, and if they don't want any retaliation against them, then they just be quiet. And sometimes the gang, like if their child has a price on their head or something, sometimes in order, to appease the family, they'll bring the mama a bag. What, this for your son, turn the other way. He caught up in some mess. Be quiet, take this money, and it's the lifestyle he chose. And so that situation comes to mind here because this is her in the media, saying, I hope they find them, whoever did this. And I believe only one gunman was reported, but she said they deserve to be in jail. That already implies that she knows that one person couldn't have done this. And if there was more people, then something about this tells me that, we're just in the media going along with the show because it's safer, in my opinion. Just in my opinion, please, you guys. People know. People know who, what, when, and where, and why. And this is kind of everybody knowing that justice isn't really going to get served. Even maybe the authorities probably know, well, we ain't going to solve this. Not like in a clean, holistic way where we get to the bottom of everything and get to the bottom of everyone involved. I think even the authorities think it's gang related. But there's something else about that, and it smells political. Political or institutional. Maybe even has something to do with the prison system or politics or both. Now, here's the mother, as I would have liked to see her, but not in reverse. In the hopes and fears. So for her to not have any idea of anything, she's in the hopes and fears. And here she is in the media, but I'm asking what happened that day. She shows up twice, so at least she should know something. I said before I even got here, this is the mother, but I would have liked to see her as the empress, especially in this position, because it would have come across as, yes, please help me find out who took my baby. I don't know. But here's the empress in the hopes and fears, which tells me one could only hope that she were to share even what she suspects at the least, even if it puts her in a precarious predicament because it's her baby. One or two people could get charged, or this case could be ongoing. And obviously, if one or two people get charged, it's not enough. I also think somebody involved or close to it might see this live. This is usually the card I get when I'm doing lives or I'm reading myself and I'm maybe, tired, don't want to do one, but I might ask the spirit, should I do one? Would it benefit the greater good of my platform to do one, even though I want to take a day off? If I get this, they're telling me to do do the live, do the roar. However, one or two people could get caught up. And if not, then this case is just going to be ongoing, investigated for a long time. I feel like the authorities feel like it would be up to the community to help us solve this case, but they know that people are holding back. They know it's probably a lot of gang pressure, and it seems to be one specific gang that is like maybe a big boss or one big boss gang leader. Hi, Whitney. I'm going to look into the outcome first. I see maybe two opposing sides, one gang and one gang. So I think you guys were right. Let's see though, let me clarify. This case possibly is going to get stalled because somebody that has information is not going to come forth with it or is withholding something. Some money could be involved. A lot of money could be involved. Somebody might get paid off for the loss of their innocent child. Like I was kind of just talking about. Especially if it's gang related and they had to run up on site when they seen them even at a party. They might pay out a life insurance policy to somebody for their child being lost. And that person could possibly accept it and turn the other cheek. Because in their mind, it's justice. Some way, some form. Who is her baby daddy? Who is the mama's baby daddy? The lady who threw the party. Known gang members and two local rappers attended a children's party. Okay, see, I didn't see this Los Angeles Times. Okay. All right. Let's see. LA Times. Oh, they might not let me read it. You got to subscribe to them. Though the city of Stockton has battled gangs and worked to quell violence in its street before, blah, 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 blah. At least one gunman opened fire at the Saturday birthday party. Again, I did say they reported one, but he wasn't alone, wounding 11 people and killing 3 children. A 21-year-old was also killed in the attack. Oh no, that's Burna Boy. It says rapper Burna Boy, he would be covering the funeral costs. Okay, so that's Burna Boy covering the funeral costs. But what does that have to do with the outcome and with this case being stalled a little bit? Because justice is over here in reverse, external to the situation, not as the outcome. And what does Burna Boy? Now, Burna Boy is a friend of Jason Lee. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's an affiliate of Jason Lee in some way. And I'm sure maybe Jason Lee, listen, because I started off asking about Jason Lee. And I said this might be political or something else. Let me cook for a second. Y'all hold on one second and watch what I'm finna do. On Tuesday, rapper Burna Boy announced he would be covering the funeral costs for all 4 of the victims. This why they not gonna get no justice. Ain't just him trying to save his career. There's something else going on in here. Because Burna Boy, listen, I'm not talking about Burna Boy in his career. That it could both to a couple things are true at the same time. Why is he here? Okay? And the outcome, clarifying the outcome. And I said this is either 1 or 2 people getting charged or the case getting stalled. My initial thought was because the mama is going to accept some money and not come forward with information, not a sacrifice. No, 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 no. I'm going to take a political dive here. Just let me cook for a second. A lot of people could be donating to this case if they wanted to. I could. I wouldn't show up behind the outcome. behind the case being stalled or not fully solved. First of all, it's gang related. So these are the two opposing gangs here. Here's another woman sitting in between them both with her eyes covered, even though she could put the swords down and take this off and see the truth, even though she knows the truth, because here's the moon behind her. Here's peace, but then here's the opportunity for problems. Maybe even if she took her blindfolds off. So ask me why is these two beefing gangs who actually are violent with each other, and this woman sitting in between them, obviously knowing about them because she's holding the swords, but with her blindfold, not exposing what she sees or knows, willingly having her eyes covered. Live, now we're starting. Now, yes, okay. See, I didn't outright say it because I wanted you guys and your spidey senses to start kicking in. Yes. Now we're about to get a little interesting here. Okay. This isn't money from the gangs. This is money from Burna Boy. Now let me ask one quick question. See, this has to get cleaned up. This has to get cleaned up because somebody was already in trouble for maybe dipping in funds or using their new power for wrong, because that's what this is. This is using your power, your seat of authority, for wrong. And somebody was about to get caught doing something that they had been hiding. Wasn't the real mayor of Stockton saying something about Jason Lee? Mm-hmm. So, oh yes, because she doesn't even want him in the office. This is the mayor. This is probably the people that she appoints or agrees with. She doesn't agree with him being there. Now he's starting to cook. And it's his first, oh, I'm finna get in there and do my thug thizzle. Yes, just get in there and use the office willy-nilly however I want. I can do whatever I want. And nobody can, look, dipping into the money, it being overlooked. And this is money that nobody really pays attention to, maybe. But it's supposed to be there for a multitude of reasons, but they don't really use it. Nobody really pays attention to it. He found a stash, I believe a pot that's usually overlooked. And I'm just, now this is my first time in office. I get to do whatever I want with it. And even though my boss doesn't like it, it's because my boss don't like it. So she gonna dig around and find a reason to get me out. And boy, what did she find? Something I can't defend myself against. I've been using my seat of authority for the wrong reasons, but I'm well connected. I'm well connected. Got a lot of resources. A lot of people owe me favors. So I know how to find a way to clean my situation up, even if just for now, even if just for temporarily. Can't really switch nothing in politics when we got a gang war going on, buddy. We got more important things to worry about, and that is cleaning up the city of Stockton. Getting the crime out of the streets, because there's been an uprising, as they say, of violence. So we don't really have time to be, mayor don't have time to be worried about me. Not right now. Because we have to come together right now to fight another cause. And I only ask, why is Burna Boy paying for everything behind the case not really being solved right now or looked into for a while? Let me look into this justice in reverse over here, because that's where I smelled politics in the first place. And I still smell the prison system and some sort of relationship between politics and the prison system over here in California. I'm sniffing it out. I can't quite pinpoint where it's going, but I smell it. And you guys better hope I don't sit here and for another 7 hours like I did the other night until I get to the motherfucking bottom of it. Like a bloodhound. Justice in reverse. Unfortunate these deaths had to happen. Now, these could be the deaths, but these can also be accusations, very heavy accusations, and possibly charges against somebody. One person, though. Somebody needed the situation to go away. That could have took them down. They needed it to go away and be quiet, at least for now, until he can figure some shit out, until he can figure a way out. So, Spirit, were some favors called in, allegedly? One card. Was some favors called in? Now, who else were we just talking about? This is somebody who is ruthless when it comes to maintaining their power and control. Ruthless, like a politician, like a crooked one. Since this is a Cancer card, this is why I'm calling it a politician, because Cancer represents the sea of people, the collective. So a politician is supposed to represent the collective, everybody, despite their differences, black, white, and everything in between. But most of the time we're dealing with ruthless, crooked, and shady people who just get into these positions to use the power for their own gain. I only asked if a favor was called in, and I got somebody crooked that I believe to be a politician. Oh boy. A failed celebrity or somebody who has a lot of celebrity resources, meaning they can pull on certain celebrities like puppet strings when they need to. Kind of like Jason Lee, because he knows information about various celebrities to take them down. I asked if a favor was called, at least on the part of paying for the funerals. I believe so. At least on that part. I believe a favor was called. Because it's like, this is my first time in the office and I need to help. I need to try to fix this situation and clean it up. I need to do something that makes me look good. This is my first time in office. I have to do something. But now, is this the mayor? No. No, I think that's the mayor. She wanted Jason Lee to have some sort of judgment or face some sort of judgment day. Be called out about what she found out about him. But now that's stalled because everybody's focus is on a new situation, a new crisis. Let me look into this Empress in reverse, though. I don't think she's telling everything. The mom. I think she feels like she still has to deal with these people and live here. She still has to live in this community. And maybe she expects them to get away anyways. It's not like if she goes forward and says, okay, the such and such gang shot up because of the such and such gang. It's not like they're going to take down the gang immediately after that off of her information. She still has to survive. So, no, I don't think she's up to anything. I think that she's afraid and doesn't think that it'll do any good. Just like I think a lot of the people in the community don't feel like it would. So that makes sense. Spirit will Let me see why with this Six of Wands in the present position. Now, there's somebody, obviously there's some men there that they had beef with, or some people there that were an op to the people that shot them. Where is the child's father, though? I wonder if one of her baby daddies or the child's father is somebody that they don't like. I don't see anything about him in the article. And they knew they were going to be there. Whoever it was, they knew that they would be there at this party. Maybe even somebody that was in the gang that shot them up was there too. Or maybe somebody that was in communication with them was there too, communicating with them, running them the plays from on the ground. This Emperor, you guys, I don't want to keep calling out Jason Lee, but I have a concern. Spirit, why do I keep seeing Jason Lee? Give me one card to help me understand what his business is here. Is it just him trying to get Burna Boy to pay for the funeral to kind of help, show off what to his colleagues that what he can do at the drop of a dime, get a celebrity to step in and contribute? Why do I keep seeing him? I think at the end of the day, either he ignored something that he should have paid attention to, or this is the fact that he's in a situation due to an overlooked fund that he was dipping into. And his boss doesn't like him, and I think something need... Let me clarify, because I only asked for one card. What just fell out? And then this unfortunate situation happened. That just fell out of my lap. I think a conspiracy. And I am dancing around, and I hope you guys are picking up what I'm trying to say here at this part. Listen, politicians have connects and resources even in gangs. I'll just say that. I'll just say that. And while it may seem like it was just a gang rivalry for whatever reason, I think it didn't have to be at a kid's party. I don't think that it had to be so tragic so that it made international news. So now the officials in Stockton now have a new international media national case to deal with, and it's kind of overshadowed and has taken precedence to something else that the mayor was really focusing on, and that was getting Jason Lee the hell up out of there and exposing him for stealing money. And I think some people, whoever they are ruthless enough to pull a stunt at any cost and then come in and clean it up. Create a problem, order from chaos, but also a distraction from chaos. And also a way to clean up their image. Create a problem, step in, help fix it. Tragic, tragic. And then before you know it, what money? All the money's there. I didn't take anything. You just miscounted. The money's right there. That's all my opinion, though. Susano, do you have anything else to say about what happened to you? One card, please, just to help me hear you. Follow the money. Follow the evidence to the money, actually, if you care, because there's something still hidden about this situation that has to do with evidence that leads to money. I think that's Jason Lee. I think this is a scheme that Todd set up, and unfortunately, it's a very um, tragic one, because somebody was caught dipping. I keep getting money. Somebody was caught dipping. Somebody who had all the resources available to them now, all the power, and was caught dipping. And I don't know why. And this is tragic, but I think that not enough for them, because it gets the people going. It gets the community, gives a threat to the community. Now the community is under an attack, a threat, uprising of violence. But if I was that mother, I'd call me. If I was that mayor, I'd join the mother and call me, and a problem would be solved. But that's just my opinion. Except for the last part where I said a problem would be solved if they called me. No, that's a fact. Big old country no bra fact. House dress fact. Yes. Not no Hollywood fact, but a roots fact. Hollywood facts are lies. House dress with no bra on because you've been cooking and live on a dirt road in the country. Now that's a real goddamn fact. It's the closest to earth of a fact that you're going to get. Anyways, so that's to you, subscriber. I won't put your name out there since you like to watch anonymously. But stay safe out there, and don't let no celebrity, no master celebrity who's known for pulling stunts, don't think that they ain't below or beneath pulling a certain stunt if it saves them from indictments and a loss of power. Especially if he can make one phone call and then have one of his friends to pay it forward to appease himself, allegedly. I never even thought that was going to go there. I thought we was going to get deep into some gang shit, but I'm shooketh too. I am shooketh. All right, so I said I might dig around in some more current events. I wanted to make sure I've saved some energy for a members live tonight. So I'll do maybe one or two more. I see Milagro and Megan Thee Stallion's case has been resolved. Megan technically won. Milagro won in her own way. And let me just say, since I did do a reading on it and say that Meg would win, I want to call to you guys' remembrance why I said she would win. I said that her attorney is in. Her attorney is in. And I think that there was some allegiance behind helping, but I do believe that the judge did not want. I think she did everything she could to not give everything to Meg, because I think she had to abide by her allegiances in the cabal of lawyers, but I think she also might actually try to value sometimes doing her job, especially when the defendants did such a good job at defending themselves, which is why I think even though Meg won, I think that's why the judge still was like, but yeah, but let me give Milagro her, her ones. Because I think that if she didn't feel inclined to give that judgment, then she would have told Meg a long time ago, girl, I heard Bigfoot myself. think that judge was sitting up there like, girl, in her mind, like, I'm gonna let you win. But girl, I heard Bigfoot. Why you suing this girl? I know she was like, I listened to it to prepare for the trial because I definitely thought that you were going to come in here and bring that up. When they brought up Drake lyrics, um, she said she got shot, but she's still a stallion. And she said she didn't feel that like that referred to her. I feel like in the judge's mind, she was rolling her eyes so hard, like, girl, you doing your big Grammy, I mean your Oscar job, but and I'm gonna let you get it because you know we have to, but girl. So I want to read the judge because that's where the real tea for me is gonna come from about the judgment and how and why it went the way it did. Not saying it shouldn't have. I like to see the hows and the whys behind certain things that I feel like are because who exactly, they say that her husband has some kind of affiliation to Jay-Z or Rock Nation, or maybe has worked on some of their cases in Miami before. So that could be why I said she has some allegiance. And I saw the Three of Pentacles when I read if Meg would win. I saw that, her attorneys are in the end. I didn't know if they were Jewish, but they are on the end of the legal cabal. Milagros' attorney, as black and powerful as they might have been, and power to the people, they not in the cabal. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying power to the people and stay for the people. But you know what I'm saying here. It's the same way Cardi B wins all her cases, including the last one that came out before her album rollout. That was like a reality show. I feel like that was a mockery. That whole entire case and the trial entirely, the whole thing was, I feel like it was a mockery to the courts. But then again, well, my opinion of the courts and the whole system itself is okay. Let me find the judge's name. While everybody else is talking about the wins and the who's and the what's, I want to get to the horse. Because that's where the tea is. Judge in Megan the Stallion case. U.S. District Court Judge Cecilia M. Altonaga. Come on down, Cecilia. Let me get the energy from the dead off of my hands, because you alive, honey. I know I'm gonna touch you and you're gonna be like, ah, I see dead people. Why? She could be asleep, have a dream of her great great grandmama. Scared the shit out of her. All right. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of District Court, U.S. District Court Judge Cecilia M. Altonaga. Oh, that's a lot. But you got to give a lady her respect. You got to give these people their respect. They went to school and they paid the dues. U.S. District Court, Spirit say her name is Cecilia Altonaga. Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Cecilia Altonaga, U.S. District Court Judge. I think she wears a really pretty perfume. It smells very floral, very rich, but very floral. It's sweet. I like it. I smell hints of jasmine. I even think her hair might smell good. And I don't usually say that about those kinds of people, but like maybe the shampoo, maybe. Herbal essence used to have the white people's hair smelling so pretty. You guys, you guys should go back to that. Not saying your hair smells now. I'm just saying you guys' hair used to smell so good when y'all used to wash y'all hair in herbal essence. The commercials really, really, really told the truth about the smell. You guys should bring that back like we did cocoa and shea butter and Blue Magic. You guys should. I'm telling you, every time y'all swing y'all golden locks, flowers and herbal essence. It was a time. It was an era. All right, Cecilia M. Altanaga. Please allow me to conjure up her spirit, soul, and collective energy. Compel. Because judge is liar, lawyers liar, police liar, politician liar, y'all baby daddies liar. Just your baby mamas too. Just liars. Even down to your kids. Everybody lying. Not y'all in the chat though. Not y'all, because y'all don't lie. The chat don't lie. But everybody else, it's like it's Fibbing Friday every damn day. All right. Spirit, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Cecilia M. Altanaga, the U.S. District Court judge that presided over Megan Thee Stallion and Milagros defamation case. Cynthia, that's what it made me. Cecilia. Cecilia, darling, I compel you not to lie, but to speak your soul's truth. Not your mind's truth, but your soul's truth, which is a compilation of all of it. I compel you to speak your soul's truth and keep absolutely nothing hidden from me. Cecilia, Judge Cecilia, I'll call you Judge Cecilia. Talk to me about Megan Thee Stallion and Milagro Graham's recent defamation case. Talk to me about your judgment, how you felt about the case, and what led you to your ultimate judgment along with the jury. Along with the jury. What led you to circle the block and say, not so fast, Megan, not so fast? Because she could have just let her have it. She could have let her have all of it. But she said, not so fast, and that's interesting. This lady, I believe, doesn't care. I think she feels like this case was a waste of my mother-sucking time. It was petty. I think she feels like it was petty. And I feel like she is more of a judge who actually wants to judge and do the law and the real important stuff. Not this, she posted this, she posted that. It hurt my feelings. I didn't like, I feel like she was over it and thought that it was petty. And I think that she tried to be fair as possible. Even though it's not fair, I think she tried to be. To be honest, I don't think she liked Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion isn't a fire sign, but she is, as Megan Thee Stallion, as the hot girl coach. Milagro is a Scorpio, so this usually shows up when I read Megan Thee Stallion, either this or the Queen of Swords. That's the challenge. I don't think the judge liked her enough to just let her have the full judgment without saying not so fast. I think she felt like Megan was full of it a little bit and pulling stunts with the black kitty here, pulling stunts. I also think the judge has a very strong opinion about Tory Lanez, the counterpart to this lady. So I feel like she feels like Megan brought this case up because it's a continuation of her Tory Lanez saga. And interesting though, she doesn't see Tory Lanez upright as somebody who did it. She sees him in the reverse. And that's why I usually sometimes see Megan Thee Stallion as the Queen of Wands, not just because she's the hot girl, but because her career has been tainted by her situation with Tory Lanez, who's a Leo. So she often shows up in context of her court battles as the Queen of Wands. So in this case, since she shows up instead of the Queen of Swords as the Queen of Wands, then I think that the judge feels like this is a continuation of her battle against Tory Lanez. Now, this is interesting because here is where I think she sees Megan. Not as the Queen of Wands in reverse, which is bad enough, but the King of Wands in reverse. Someone who is manipulative and a liar, but a dangerous one. The King is a dangerous one. The Queen, she's manipulative, cunning, a liar, but she's a queen. The King, though, he's a dangerous one. And so I think that the judge is sitting back watching how things unfold moving forward. And I'm just going to be honest, even though I know a lot of you guys are going to hate me for it and think I'm biased, but I'm just not. I'm not wrong enough for you to really be able to have back up that claim. I think that the judge is going to sit back and watch how everything folds out moving forward and be looking at Meg very side eye, like watching Meg continue to play a victim. I'm just going to say that. I think the judge is going to continue to dislike Meg because of that. Crowning her relationship. I do think her husband has a relationship with Rock Nation, and therefore she can't let her husband and Rock Nation look bad. She got to go home to this man, and she has allegiances to that man and his career and their career together. And so that's why I think there was the judgment that they got. Now I'm going to go and use this to clarify the jury to see how they factor into it. There are certain, I think she was a little bit biased. This gives me a little bit biased during the trial, not willing to hear certain things, cutting people off, maybe not allowing certain points to be made or brought up, even if they seem like they were going there. Maybe she would interject or something like that. I think that she feels like Megan Thee Stallion has a lot of court battles and may be gearing up for some more. And I think that the judge thinks that that's going to be the death, so to speak, not the literal death, but the death of Megan Thee Stallion. And I think she thinks that they're going to come back to bite her based on the way she allowed this case to go. She was actually trying to tip the scale against Megan Thee Stallion. She doesn't like her. She was loyal to an allegiance, but she still stuck it to her because if it wasn't for her allegiance and their connections, and this is probably why they took it to this court, because of these connections, but given any other circumstances, that shit would have been thrown out. She ruled the way she did and allowed Milagro to not be charged with defamation because she wants to open the door for Meg not to win anymore, moving forward, especially when it comes to other people. Best case scenario, I think this judge respects new media and probably assumes that Megan, with this judgment, was going to gear up to go after more. And I think she sees that as her on a tyrant against anybody who disagreed with her. And I think the judge is probably like, enough is enough over this one girl. Over this one girl. I think the judge didn't like having to be put in the position to rule according to her allegiance over this one girl. And hell, she could be like, it's just one black girl. Like, we all risking all of this over a black girl. Because you know how they. But after y'all go in, they got to go in deep to stay. Everybody, shit. Imagine. So everybody gotta fall on the sword because of this one situation. Everybody has to take one for the team. This is Milagro. standing her ground. She got whacked a little bit because the judge ruled Megan the winner, but she stood her ground. And this is all the other media people that were watching, her peers, um, that weren't as bold as she was, that also get to stand upright because of the stance that she took in the battle that she feels like she won, because this is her feeling like she stood her ground, which she did. Her peers are looking at her with respect because she won one for them. Now Milagro, though, she ain't studying them. She's looking out at the opportunities coming in. She's looking out into her future now. Now that she's Sojourner Truth, now that she's Harriet Tubman, she ain't studying her peers now, including Armand. She see you, but y'all behind her now. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. She won one for all of them who would have never, you know, sojourner truth the way she did. But she as she once was a peer, a colleague of these people. Now she stands in the front. The world is looking at her. She's got the world stage she's standing on, and she's looking out at how she can maximize her future opportunities now that she has the future is open now. Now she's considered new media. Now she's, official. She can consider herself official. So Milagro is like, yeah, all of this is cute, but what I'm finna make it, watch what I'm finna make happen. I like it. I like it for a person, especially a woman, especially a Black one. All right. Hopes and fears for the judge is that everything stays safe under lock and key. I'm telling y'all, this is a conspiracy, and if it has to stay, they all have to stay the course now because everybody's in too deep. Again, this is a judge. She's going to have to live in a little bit of fear. Hanging over her head from now on is that now she's also complicit. She's one of the 10 swords now. And I think she's going to hate Megan Thee Stallion for it. I think she already does. Her husband. This was a favor for her husband. But she didn't want to do it. I think she thinks that Milagro's attorneys did a good job. But they're on the outside of this den of thieves here, allegedly. She's going to live in fear because of everybody that had to fall in the battle for Tory Lanez in order for them to get justice for Megan. For one person, all these people had to fall so that one person could stand and win. Now, why would that be bothering her so much? And I feel like the least she could do is give a gift to new media. I think that this lady is going to feel like she sold her soul, and the least she could do was throw out the defamation and empower the new media. Because I think she knows what's going on, and I think she knows that all these people were fighting for Tory, which everybody has the right to do, especially if it's their opinion. But all these people had to fall just so that Megan can stand. Now let's go further down the rabbit hole and see why Megan is standing. Why does she need to stand? All of this clarifies this lady's outcome. She's going to be troubled about this because she's complicit now. A lie. Now, what is this sneaky little lie situation? Behind this air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. What is the scheme that Todd set up? Here's the 7, a lie. And here's the 7 that Meg has to stand on for everybody else to have to fall now. Let us venture down the 7 of Wands. Now here's Megan and her charging and charges against everybody. And she's been winning, so she's empowered to continue charging because of the victories that she's had so far. That one victory with Tory Lanez being sentenced set the tone for her to be able to go after successfully other people who the judge feels like were just literally trying to help Tory Lanez stand upright. Spirit, what does Judge Cecilia think about Tory Lanez? What does Judge Cecilia think about Tory Lanez? Now that's interesting because that's not a violent card. This would be the Leo aspect. So this is Tory Lanez in between. Oh dear. Not the lion that represents Leo, just in between. Healing with the Caduceus. Bringing peace, maybe, in between a situation. And the evidence didn't support that, though. He lost his case. Behind, first of all, a conspiracy, but this is my Rock Nation card because B and J. And Desiree Perez sitting in between them with the Torah, the law, on her lap. Now, why does she think this, but not anything violent? These are violent cards. This is my allegedly Rock Nation situation. My card, what's behind Rock Nation and what the judge thinks they have to do with Tory Lanez. This is Jay-Z. He's a Sag. This is a Sag card. I think she maybe feels like Jay-Z maybe did a little alchemy, maybe. Jay-Z and Rock Nation did a little alchemy. Got somebody put away for a very long time. Maybe a cover-up, allegedly. That's what the moon is. Tragic. Let me look into Milagograms and I'll wrap this up so that I can go and do my members live. I think this is my Milagro card. Let's see what's on the horizon for her. What's she looking at? Opportunities coming in. There's that Gail interview and other interviews she's been doing. And she's considering her future now that she can be considered media or the press or a new form of media. Milagro is considering her new future and career and the opportunities available to her. After this trial, she's going to maximize on it, and you should, because I see the Wheel of Fortune is here for you, Milagro. You've got the world watching you. This is your opportunity to make the most of it. Seems like Saturn going direct for you after its retrograde brought you a great reward for standing despite, the challenges. You stood. And that was a lesson, not just for you, a trial for you, but it was a lesson for other people now. And so because of that, you have been rewarded and elevated for passing a test and now being a teacher and a revolutionary for your peers. You have a blessing for you from Saturn going direct, because Saturn brings trials, tests, but when you do good, when you overcome them, when you get what you're being tested at, then it also brings very long lasting and substantial rewards. So that's what you've gotten for yourself. Kudos to you. And Megan, since you got the verdict or the judgment in your favor, kudos to you too. Let me just ask really quick, Spirit, how does Megan the Stallion feel about her judgment? And then I'll end this and then go into um I'll go into my members live. How does Megan the Stallion feel about the judgment that she got? The judgment that she got. I think she probably knows that the judge doesn't favor her. I think she probably feels like it is what it is. And I definitely think she hates the fact that the judge threw out the defamation and allowed Milagro to be seen as the media, because that's going to keep her from going after the people that she just planned on it before the judge said, hold on. She was coming for some more of you guys that now get to stand upright because of Milagro. But now she's got to, not so fast, because she was coming. She was getting ready to, but she can't now. So I think she hates that. Hates it. Hated it. I think she considers it a loss. And I think she feels like the connections didn't work the way they were supposed to. They were supposed to give her everything. She must know that the judge don't like her and only did this because of her husband. It was a favor. But she's looking at it like it was only a favor. She knows this judge ain't feeling her. She knows it was only a favor to the husband. And she knows that this is going to open up opportunities for Milagro to continue on her being in the media. She hates it. Let me tell y'all something. When I say hate, I think she is fuming right now, full of hate. Even though I feel like, not like screaming mad, but definitely like, I hate this shit. And Megan, I am going to say it's a good thing. Saturn is looking out for you by pumping your brakes, because this judge being a lot over you, that means she ain't the only one. And if you keep being empowered by the past legal people having to kind of do these things for you, but now that it's done, it's almost like you're wearing out your favor just by going after every single body. Consider, Megan, the people who put their careers on the line for you, allegedly. And these people have way more to lose than you. And I think this judge, now that you've got her involved, even after Tori is already locked away, I think she's like, listen, let me pump your brakes. Let me pump your brakes, because you finna get all of us fucked up if you keep going on a tirade and a rampage like this. So with that being said, all of this shit was my opinion and story time with Dina. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I won't see you guys tomorrow because I will be bringing down, since the moon is right there, I will be bringing down all the gifts and abundance that it has in store for us, because I know the lamb has been on their P's and Q's, and I've already been getting the rewards, honey. And so I'm just going to bring down some more, okay? The ones that are substantial, the ones where you wake up, you go to sleep in one situation and wake up in a whole nother situation. Yes, that's what we call it, Dad. So we're doing that tomorrow. It starts at 6:30 because the moon is at its peak, at its fullest, and closest to the earth at 6:15. So I'm gonna give it some time to marinate, 15 minutes to marinate, and at 6:30, it's going down. All right, and I'm going to use Obviously, frankincense. I'm going to use a little bit of sage and santo to make sure ain't no haters lurking. I am also going to use the patchouli and maybe even Queen of the Nile, because doesn't that sound luxurious and royal and rich? Okay. I'm so excited that I found these and just in time. It's meant to be. It's meant to fucking be. Plus, I was doing a consultation for somebody that's in the chat yesterday, and I put her in the ceremony just because I saw what it's going to do for her. It's literally going to shift the earth under her feet. And her outcome was the 10 of Cups. And so I was like, you got to do this ceremony. You got to do this ceremony. Because Saturn brought me some rewards too, but it's an elevation of my skills, y'all. And I'm so excited to test them out and see what I can do. I haven't even started a ceremony for Rosia, y'all. And I just saw her text me saying that some shit that I was already supposed to make shake, it's done already start shaking. And we were joking last night about how even before I start ceremonies, once I start plotting it out in my mind, that's when sometimes you can start seeing results. And she just texts me some good news. And I ain't supposed to do nothing till Saturday, but we talked about it last night and I started working it in my mind. So anyways, it's gonna be great tomorrow. It's gonna be great and I'm excited. Members, let's shoot over to the members live so we can reclaim something real quick and I can go and eat. And then I'll holla. She said she is, so just take her word for it. I don't feel like looking into it. Love you. See you soon. Bye.